Hey, everybody. Welcome to Game Mornings with me, Jeff Grubb, your host from giantbomb.com. Thank you for tuning in. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the surprise return of a GameCube classic and what to expect at the Game Awards. It's going to be a good one because we have Rachel Kaser on the show. Rachel, how are you doing?
Hi, Jeff. I'm tired already. I'm kind of just wearing a rictus grin at this point because I know I'm gonna be up for probably the next 12 hours at least. Like I got to
Yep.
do my regular work day, and then we're gonna do the Jeff Keighley show for the next little while after this.
Yeah, it's one of those big days of the year for anyone who covers games, actually. Um,
Yeah, luckily I only have to do this for one night a year. Every
yep.
other show out there I can just bypass, but you never know, something interesting might happen tonight.
Yeah. It's I agree with that. Like opening night live, most people, even people who cover games, are going to be fine if they don't watch that. You can catch up on the news the next day. This is the one where it's like, oh, anything could happen. It really is kind of that big now, and for all its faults, I think last year it got on the right footing of being entertaining at the very least. And then it is what it is around surrounding everything else about it. It's a business to make money, and that's kind of I've accepted that. I've said a bunch of times now.
I'm
Um,
sure there's gonna be, like, bits and pieces where we can just tune out, we can just, like, turn around and start texting each other, like, about random stuff. So,
oh yeah,
what are you
there
having
will
for
be
dinner?
long periods of like
Yeah.
7 games in a row that are gotcha games, and yeah, absolutely. And
The
you know what? At this
awards
point,
that Jeff pretty much doesn't just kinda, like, throws out
oh,
there that he
those will happen
makes.
during the commercial breaks. Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about those getting
No,
in our way. Of course not.
yeah,
That
and
was
then, of course, there's gonna be, like, the Hideo Kojima break, which is when we're all gonna collectively go to the bathroom and heat up our leftovers.
That's right. Look. He might bring out someone famous. I'm not going to miss a famous person, Rachel. That'd be crazy. Uh,
Oh, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, somebody in the chat mentioned Miss Piggy is gonna be there. I will be there front and center. I will teleport out to Los Angeles to see Miss Piggy.
that's been the real problem. Is like he's had the Muppets and he always has Kojima, and he never has them interact. And I just think he's afraid to let that happen because then he knows Kojima will
Kojima?
be yeah, Kojima will be like, "Hey, no, I got direct tie the Muppets now. I don't need you anymore, Jeff Keighley." And he's afraid of that, and I
Oh
understand.
gosh, so, that's Jeff Keighley's whole career now is being the connection, the degree of separation between Kojima and the Muppets? We've cracked the code, Grubb, we've
There.
cracked the code.
There it is. All right, let's explain ourselves. We're Giant Bomb, giantbomb.com/join. Become a premium member. That helps us because we are independent games media. We are out here on our own. We just have your support really to make this whole thing work. It would not work without you. So thank you to everyone who's come through and gone to giantbomb.com/join, became a premium member. It ensures the future of us doing stuff like, hey, tonight, this evening, let's talk over the Game Awards. We're going to get together in person, do our Game of the Year awards. And again, that's all possible thanks to you. It gets you ad-free versions of the shows, a bunch of goodies. 2026 is coming here real soon. We're going to have to get caught up with all the stuff we promised for the Bombathon, and that's all starting next year. So look out for that, and you'll get most of that. The bulk, there's going to be a bulk of that is only available, at least at first, if you're a premium member. So giantbomb.com/join. As far as this
I'm a
show goes,
premium member. Does that
oh,
does that entice anybody?
yeah, look, right there. See, you could be
It's
this
awesome.
cool.
Like,
That's
you'll be in group 7 with me, it'll be great.
most weekdays. Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings or find the RSS feed on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. All right, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with a new GameCube game just surprise released on Switch 2. This is from Evan Campbell at GameSpot. Maybe as a holiday treat, Nintendo has added a new GameCube title to Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack subscribers out of the blue. Wario World is now playable for the service on Switch 2. Originally released in 2003, Wario World is a 3D platformer that sees the anti-hero looking for payback after his treasure is stolen and his castle destroyed. It's made by Treasure. This is a really, really good 3D platformer. It got dinged at the time for
Mhm.
being too short, and that was really the main complaint that people had about it. Kind of makes it perfect for a fun game to go back to these days
Mhm.
especially if you're getting added to a service you already have. To go check out, be like, what were these games like if I never played it? Or hey, I missed this. Let's see what it's like. You don't have to like commit yourself to a long playthrough. It's going to be a couple of hours of power, and you're going to be out of there. Yeah, I really enjoy this game. Glad to see it on the NSO service. Any love for Wario World?
I've never played Wario World, so I'm glad it's on
I
because
only played it recently. Yeah, because I
I
skipped
told
out on it because I thought it was bad, and then it was like, oh no, it's much better than I thought.
I told Jeff this, but I finally got my hands on a Switch 2
Hey,
for Black Friday, so I've been looking for something other than Bonanza and Metroid Prime 4 to play on it. So there you go. Oh no.
yep.
Oh there.
Oh, we're good.
Yeah, sorry. I thought we cut out for a second there.
No, we're doing good so far. Yep.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm the target audience because now I want to play Wario World and I can finally because I don't currently have a GameCube.
Yeah, it's the like the most known secret. Turns out every treasure game like slaps. Even
Mhm.
their weird ones, even the ones that like treasure, they're known for shooters and all that stuff, and they are. But they could do anything, including that Ronald McDonald game for the
Mhm.
Genesis that also owns. Everything they work on just has the juice, and that includes Wario World. So this one's definitely worth going back to. It was interesting, Rachel. They just added games to the N64 NSO like the day before this, and that was
Yeah.
two games. It was the Ubisoft platformers, Rayman 2 and Tonic Trouble. So it's like, and then a day
I
later
remember
we
seeing
get
Rayman 2, yeah.
yeah, we get this. So it's like kind of feels like they're either piling them all up in the last week of the year before everyone starts going on vacation, that sort of thing, or
Mhm.
are they doing something because it's like right before the Game Awards and this like these games might be in a sizzle reel or something like that, and they wanted to announce them themselves? I don't know. It's just like, oh, cool, we're getting a bunch of stuff all in this one week. What do you think happened there?
I don't know. I feel like Nintendo, out of all companies, is not the company that's going to be like, "Oh, the Game Awards is coming. We better prepare something." So, like, I don't think they're necessarily building the NSO library around the Game Awards. So, my guess is probably the former. That they're
Yeah.
just, they're like, we wanted to get these out before the end of the year. The end of the year is coming up fast.
Yep.
Everyone's going to be going on holiday break, so let's give them something fun to play.
Yep, I think you're probably right. That like that when you look at the calendar, this is when stuff's got to happen if you want to get things done before the end of the calendar year. And
Yeah,
here we are. Yeah, we
want to
are
get
now
something
at a
fun out before the end of the fiscal quarter.
exactly. We are at a point now where the Switch 2 had the GameCube games promised early on. I don't remember them saying anything about Wario World is coming. So now we are in a point where the announced games have either all happened, and now we're getting games that could come out of nowhere. So that's exciting as long as they keep up the release schedule for this. I'm a big fan of NSO. I enjoy it, even though I have a million ways to play these games. Still, I find myself occasionally playing them on the Switch.
I mean, but if you don't have a million ways to play this game, if you're not Jeff Grubb, like
True.
I don't have
Yes.
any other way to play Wario World right now. So, I mean, legally anyway, wink, wink. But so yeah,
And all
I'm
million
happy
ways
to
I
have
have
it.
to play are definitely legal. That's right.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, no, you're right. This is for the vast majority of people who have probably never even really thought about this game, let alone
Hmm.
have 10 different ways to play it. And, yeah, the GameCube games on NSO have played pretty well. The emulation was a little spotty early on. Hopefully, they continue to make improvements. And like the CRT effect and stuff is pretty good, so it's a good way to play those games. All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, I want to hear back. Give it a try. Next time we have you on, I'm going to ask you about it. Everyone,
Ab-
remind me.
Okay, yeah, I will make a note of it.
All right. Nintendo apparently paying 41% more on RAM to build Switch 2 amid memory shortages. This is from My Nintendo News. This is the ongoing saga of RAM prices, everybody. I mean, I know it's been on like every show, but there's a new tidbit every day. This is the latest one. Nintendo's shares tumbled the other day due to market concerns that the increased pricing of Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch components will erode the Kyoto company's profit margins. Bloomberg is reporting that the 12 gigabyte RAM modules in Nintendo Switch 2 consoles increased around 41% in the current quarter, and the NAND storage also became nearly 8% more expensive. The shortages are also affecting the price of external SD Express cards for the Nintendo Switch 2 on retailers such as Amazon. Basically, there's a
Oof.
quote here that says all this. I think they said yeah, like a 256 gigabyte Express SD card cost $90 on Amazon. This is effectively a cost that Nintendo has passed on to the gamer. Yeah. So, as with everything, the thing itself and the stuff surrounding it is all getting more expensive. Right
Yeah.
now, it's getting more expensive for Nintendo. It does feel to me, Rachel, like it's just a matter of time before the price goes up on the Switch too. Because there
Yeah.
is no expectation that RAM prices are going to come down until at least we're through the near the end of 2026, if we're lucky. So what do you
Yeah, I
think?
think yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons why I bit the bullet and went ahead and bought a Switch 2 for Black Friday. Didn't have a discount on the Switch 2. I did have one on Bonanza, so I just went ahead and got it while the going was good. But yeah, I kind of get the impression that I kind of wonder if they're going to repackage it, like maybe bundle it with a
Good
new
point.
game, and
Yes,
that way they can kind of like disguise the price increase a little bit by saying
100%.
if there's a better profit, or if there's a better like value proposition to it. That's kind of how I anticipate it being, is that it's going to be bundled with something when they do. That they're going to
Yes.
try and make it appeal, because just saying, yeah, we got to raise the prices because, this is really the RAM is really starting to grind into our profits. That's not going to sell to anybody.
They've also given themselves a bunch of hatches, like escape hatches, like in their pricing structure and in their packaging. You're right. They said the Mario Kart World Bundle was temporary, like it's going to go
Mhm.
away. Right now, it doesn't feel like there's any indication that it's going to go away. I think they've even stopped like mentioning that when they talk about it in their marketing, like, oh, it's a limited time thing. I don't think they're saying that all that often, but because they've said it before, at any moment they could be like, all right, that bundle went away, and then you're right, they could replace it with a bundle with a different game that, or bring it back later at, well, that was the introduction price. Let's just
Mhm.
go to 520 because that's how much the game is if you include the game. So
Yeah.
500, that's 20 extra dollars to help cover some of those costs of the RAM. They could just do that. And
Yeah,
it's like,
or
yeah, go
release it
ahead.
in a different color, like just
Yes,
put out a bunch of like, neon colored Switch 2s or something and raise the
the
price to
analog method.
500.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. And
I
and that's
mean,
like you're right. Without a game, raise it to
yeah.
500 from 450 to 500, and then with the game, somewhere between 500 and 550, probably all the way up to 550. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
It's not a
expecting
fun
something
way to think
exactly along
about
those
it.
lines.
I'm not
Yes.
It's not a fun thing to think about, but that is how marketing works, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I just like you could tell they were prepared for this, that they like thought about giving themselves room to maneuver. And now here we are. They already are at a point where it's like they might need to pull the trigger on that. And we were expecting that to be the case because of all kinds of other market conditions. But the RAM prices have really sort of set a fire on that stuff. So
Yeah, I'm
I,
expecting that for all consoles, by the way, not just the
yeah,
Switch
more
2.
increases for everything, right? And there's already been recent increases for Xbox and PlayStation, like multiple in some of those cases. And yet, yeah, I agree with you. Those prices are also probably going to go up. It continues to be the biggest problem for traditional console style gaming right now.
Mhm.
Everything's getting more expensive, and the kind of person that they might need to appeal to sort of bring new people in are going to be the most price sensitive, are going to be the ones that saying, I already have a phone. Why do I need this other device that now costs almost more than what I spent on that to play
Yeah.
these games that make sense to me? And it's like, well, these companies have actually mostly given up trying to make that make sense to win over that specific audience. They're like, instead, we will charge more for the core audience that we already have, nickel and dime them a little bit, increase prices
Lean
where
on
we
them,
can,
yeah.
lean on them exactly, and squeeze us dry. But they've kind of worked through a lot of us already, especially not if you're talking about Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah,
They can
yeah.
only sell us those things so many more times.
Especially this generation, is because I
Yeah,
think this generation, I mean, it's not counting the OG Switch. I feel it's just a mind screw sometimes. Like I almost can't believe this generation is as old as it is. This We're
yeah.
almost
Oh,
in
I
the
agree.
next generation. I mean,
Yep.
assuming that anybody even has the money to make a new generation of consoles.
Yeah, I mean they're going. I mean it's going to be this RAM crisis really could delay things on the next
I think
generation.
so. Yeah.
Yes, because they're going
Which
to need a lot of RAM. That's the,
yeah,
like just the conversation a year ago around RAM was like actually like 16-bit or 16-bit, 16 gigabytes is actually too low now. Like that's not
yeah.
enough. You need 32 gigabytes, and then we're getting video cards that still had 8 gigabytes of video RAM, and it
Mhm.
was like, oh, that's actually way too low now because there's several games that even though no matter how fast this RAM is, it's not enough to like cover like the saturate or the games.
Struggling.
Yes, the games are saturating the memory on these cards, and it's causing all kinds of struggles.
Even,
Um,
like, the performance quality sometimes when you play games, when you go for performance on the game, sometimes it's still a drag.
right. So the demand was already going up because we needed more in every device we were getting, and now it's like this external demand from AI has just completely destroyed everything. It's
Yeah,
and again when it pops, it's not like things go back to normal. Micron closed Crucial. That's a consumer facing brand. Micron would still sell RAM to Nintendo, of course, but
right.
it's going to be at a marked up price.
Yeah,
All right. Go
mm.
ahead.
No, no, just, kind of like saying like, "Oh, yeah, it hurts."
Yep, it's these prices are gonna get more and more painful. It's gonna be very frustrating. All right, let's continue here. This is just a weird one. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour wins GameStop's Worst Game of the Year award. This is from Liam Doolin at Nintendo Life. Basically, on social media, GameStop was just like doing kind of its jokey awards. It's like its Game of the Year 2025 was Halo 3. But even as a joke, it's a weird tone. Like I don't I mostly I think this was a joke that might have worked better, or a joke about this game would have worked better when it was coming out.
Yeah,
Now it just feel like this is behind us. No one's thinking about this thing anymore. And if they are, it's the people who are weirdly into it, which I kind of found
yeah.
myself eventually getting there. Yeah, it shouldn't have cost $10, but I don't know. It's just like, is this gonna piss off Nintendo? I don't know. It's just a weird thing to do. Not that I care, but it's just GameStop's tone right now is bizarre.
GameStop, giving anything a worst game award for being overpriced, that leaves a bad taste in the mouth.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's definitely like the how do you do fellow kids vibes, right? Like
Yeah, exactly.
they think they're on the team. Like you're not on the team, bro.
No, 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 no. Like, what are you criticizing Nintendo for exactly? This we've all already made
I
this
mean,
joke, and it's not
yes.
like this kind of gives the impression of like, oh, we heard the kids talking about this, and they were kind of complaining about the price,
Yeah.
or not that we actually played this, and of course, this is a joke. I don't necessarily think they actually played this and were like, well, this is a terrible piece of software. No, I think this is just it's obviously a joke, but I don't know what the punchline is exactly.
Right. And
Oh,
it's
this small thing cost a little bit of money.
I
That's the
mean,
joke.
yeah. And yeah, you said it best. We've all already made it to death. And so it's like I don't know. It just has no teeth in this moment, other than looking weird from a company that would ostensibly sell you this game. They would sell you
Yeah,
this game, and it's like
absolutely.
come buy GameStop's worst game of the year. It's just a weird thing. I don't know. Uh, all right, and then Limited Run Games is bringing NES's Jaws to Switch in massively expanded form. This is from PJ O'Reilly at Nintendo Life.
It's
Limited
a
Run
very
Games is
Nintendo heavy Game S mornings.
I know, yeah, and I'm trying to like let's get them all out of the way, and then we'll go to break, and it'll be
Okay.
Game Awards heavy after that. And they've got their signature offering of flashy physical editions ready to devour for everything. Mostly, it's just I'm interested in that they're kind of improving things here a little bit. These new physical editions of the game come complete with the 8-bit original, now with modern conveniences such as quick save. But of course, the star turn is a massively expanded Jaws enhanced edition that embiggens the adventure to incorporate aspects from 4 of the Jaws movies rather than just the good one. It's uh, it's kind of
Those are
wild.
your words?
This is the words of PJ O'Reilly here, but I echo
Okay.
them. PJ, I mean, Jaws is an all-time classic, and then there are
Yeah.
other Jaws movies. Pre-orders for this open December 19th. That Jaws game on the NES is a really good game. It's like one of the better
Another
movie
one I've
license
never played,
games.
so
Yeah,
I have to I don't know, I might just have to be calling Limited Run Games and being like, "Hey, hook me up because I've never played this before."
yeah. That's one where it's like I think it just showed up in my house one day. Like a friend came over one time, brought some games, and he left Jaws. And that
Mhm.
would happen back then. It's like you would end up swapping games or let friends borrow stuff, and you would never see it again. It just became theirs, and the same thing would happen. You kind of all just accepted it.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the cat delivery system. It's like there's a Jaws delivery system out there, and eventually everyone just gets to play it that way.
Yeah, it
But
just kinda gets passed around, yeah.
it was one of those where it's like most of the time you get one of those. It's like this game. There's a reason they don't care. But Jaws, I'm like,
Mhm.
there's something to this, and I really enjoyed it. Um, but yeah, that'll pop off to December 19th for pre-orders. Okay, let's take that break. We will begin getting into what to look forward to from the Game Awards, kind of have our thoughts, one last chance to sort of think about what could happen, what we want to happen after we take this break. If you want to skip out on the ad break, you can go to giantbomb.com/join, become a premium member. There's an ad-free version of the video show, an ad-free version of the audio show. Grab those. In the meantime, we will be right back. We are back. It's Game Mess Mornings. Jeff Grubb, Rachel Kaser. Let's get right back into it. Kotaku sources reveal 3-minute trailer at the Game Awards cost over $1 million. This is from Alyssa Mercante at Kotaku. I got this actually via my Nintendo News because they did a good job of getting the key bit. But if you should actually go over to Kotaku, read this full breakdown. She really goes into kind of how the full mechanics of how the Game Awards works. It's a good read. It's worth getting those explanations. Kotaku has been chatting with its sources regarding the Game Awards, which kicks off tomorrow, and have discovered that it isn't cheap to showcase your company's game at the annual event. Sources informed the online publication that a 60-second trailer would cost you up to $450,000, and that a tasty 3-minute trailer could cost you over $1 million for the privilege. Thankfully, there are some free spots for smaller video games, which catch host and that catch Jeff Keighley's eye. Basically, he has to be like, "Hey, I'm into your game. I've got some spots for you." But yeah, this is also something I've heard in the past, Rachel, that the prices are very high. Not surprisingly, they are going up every year. And that's just a reminder of what this is. It is a way to, like, the award show was always a way to build inventory slots to sell to marketers and advertisers. That's the whole
absolutely.
show, the whole shebang. And accepting that makes it all kind of a little bit easier to recognize what it is. So it's all just made up. Doesn't matter. And we can just enjoy seeing the new games and things like that.
Doesn't bother me at all that, I feel like there are a lot of companies who can definitely pay that price tag, especially if they want to slip in a 3-minute long trailer.
Yeah.
Anybody who has the time and energy to put together a 3-minute long trailer for their game for the Game Awards, I think they have the money to spend. And, big major companies like the ones we're probably going to talk about here in a few minutes. But yeah, I would rather have major companies pay to put their trailers in than artificially have a bunch of maybe unrelated sponsors have to, find ways to shove their ads in somehow, which I'm sure there's still eventually going to be. We might eventually have to resort to that, but
yeah, and I think, he'll always have the obvious sponsored segments. We'll get, Samsung's gaming service, whatever they advertise on there, and you see that 6 or 7 times. But you're right. The bulk of the runtime is made up of these trailers that pay for the whole thing. I think the one thing that people note is, because those free spots are limited, many of the companies that were nominated for awards would not be able to afford to do this. They would not have the money to announce their game at the Game Awards. You kind of have to hope you break through. I don't know what he can do about that. I mean, he can only have so many slots there, and he is, again, just trying to make money. So, and maybe the answer here is, like, we shouldn't be so reliant on the Game Awards as this one place to announce stuff. And the reality is, it's like, there are going to be other spots, but they are going to cost you similar things, like setting up at a summer game fest, which, again, Keighley controlled in a lot of ways. But setting up there is going to cost you a ton of money at the end of the day. Not as much as it would have cost for E3. It still would have cost a lot. And that's like a different time of the year. Maybe you're not ready then. You want to do something now. Overall, though, it's like, I think, again, last year he struck a good balance of having fun announcements. I think the awards were pretty good. And it felt like the big stuff that did pay to be there wasn't as annoying as it had been in the past. If he can kind of keep that balance, I'll be happy. What do you think?
Yeah, I think last year it felt like he finally got tired of people yelling at him to get his celebrity buddies off the stage and actually I think the nadir of the whole thing was when Neil Newbon went to go accept his best performance award, and he was pretty much chased off the stage after 10 seconds by the orchestra. And I was like, could somebody please hose those musicians down? They're too excited. But yeah, I think he finally got the message, and I would be fine with that. I think the whole thing about, there's some people who have nominated for Game Awards who would not be able to show. I hate that because you're right. But at the same time, I think we're also sort of like, we're building an infrastructure in the games industry post-pandemic where smaller game creators have more opportunities to show at other events, just not ones that are as big as the Game Awards. And I'm hoping that by starting at those smaller events, they can be in a position where they are in front of Jeff Keighley and he says, this is a really cool game. I want to put it at the Game Awards for free.
Yep. It's also streaming on Amazon Prime Video.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
think that does anything that gets it in front of more people?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't. It's hard
Maybe.
to. Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm at. I'm like, I honestly don't know. I would
Yeah.
assume probably,
Maybe.
but it like
Maybe we get in like an infusion of Amazon money. Maybe we, drop a trailer for, Fallout Season 2. I'd be fine with
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's just that like for me, because the streaming services are so on demand, I I'm not like looking at those services necessarily for discovery of live content. Like you
Mhm.
go to Twitch, you go to YouTube, there's a possibility for that. If I'm
Yeah.
going to Prime Video, it's probably because I want to watch something very specific. But I know they have like live sports on a lot of these things now, so maybe that's changed and that's just a me
Sports.
thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I said the word.
I'm
Uh,
texting. I'm texting. I can't avoid sports entirely.
yeah, of course. Well, yeah. Listen, sports is just a D&D for the other nerds that can't admit they're nerds. That's all it is.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. A new Tomb Raider entry has leaked ahead of the Game Awards. This is from Ollie Reynolds at Nintendo Life. The Game Awards is taking place later today or early tomorrow, depending on your time zone. But it seems that yet another major announcement has leaked ahead of schedule. It's reported by Eurogamer. The cover art for a new Tomb Raider entry has cropped up online, along with a handful of screenshots. We talked about this like, oh, there's something Tomb Raider is happening at the show. It sounds like it's a game. Sounds like it actually could be more than a game. It could be, I think Shinobi on Reset Era was teasing that it's going to be probably a show or the movie, and then the game will also be there. So they're going to have a bunch of Tomb Raider stuff, which, hey, I just thought about that. Explains why it's on Amazon Prime Video, right?
Oh, there we go.
Because
Yeah.
that's where the Tomb Raider stuff is going to be. Amazon's involved, I think, even in the game. I can't keep it all straight. But yeah, you ready for a new Tomb Raider? What do you want from them?
Absolutely. I've been waiting for a new Tomb Raider game for years now, but I don't know. I was looking at the screenshots just now, and I don't know how I feel about kind of like it looks like Lara looks completely different in some of the screenshots, so that kind of casts a little bit of doubt in my mind as to the authenticity of this. Um, Maybe this is just me, but those memes that came out back when like Horizon Forbidden West came out, when everyone was like, making, yassifying Aloy, be like,
Yeah,
this is
right.
what real gamers want. New Lara Croft kind of looks like that a little
Yeah,
bit. It's like
yeah,
they've kind
I
of
know what you
like,
mean.
yeah, it's like, why? I understand the appeal, but why is she wearing full glam in the middle of a jungle? Like, I don't.
Yeah, it looks like AI
That's a
smooth
person that,
Lara Croft is what
yeah.
Everblade said, and that's what it looks like to
It's
me, definitely.
yeah, it's TikTok filter Lara Croft, and I don't. Also, Legacy of Atlantis feels like a title that is like maybe stuck in the early 2000s. I don't know if they'd go with.
I mean,
I don't know if that's the final title.
I think that is what they're going for here. Is
Okay,
this
fair.
one's a nostalgia play. I think they're like we're going back to the original Lara Croft. Sure, her boobs are back, bros, and also we're going to like kind of make it a little bit more schlocky. And it's like, okay, yeah, I mean,
If that's the vibe they're going for, then I can get behind it, because I do have a lot of fond memories of early 2000s Lara Croft. So, and the
right.
original. So, if that's what they're going for, then I'm fine with it. But if they're just remaking the original game, I might be a little disappointed, because we've already done that multiple
Oh yeah,
times. I
yeah,
want a
for sure.
new Tomb Raider game.
Agreed. Uh, all right. Well, that's Tomb Raider. Meanwhile, Braid creator Jonathan Blow, I I think you're a weird guy, Jonathan Blow. Anyway, Eric Hiddleback Furu at Game Reactor has written a story over here that he is teasing something. He has an announcement of an announcement. It's been very close to 10 years since Jonathan Blow and the other talented developers at Thekla Inc. released their last game, The Witness. There was also Braid Anniversary Edition. So we've waited a very long time for the follow-up to what I still think is one of the best and most memorable puzzle games ever. I also really like The Witness. Fortunately, the wait will soon be over. Jonathan Blow has published a video on YouTube where he reveals that Thekla's new game will be unveiled at the Game Awards in 25 hours. And that was yesterday. It's going to be unveiled tonight. He basically was like, we just watched the Game Awards. What if something happened at the Game Awards? Does seem like he must have done something to get his game in there, either paid or maybe got one of those slots. Although I feel like Jeff Keighley would make him pay. To show off a new game, likely. He did recently release Braid Anniversary Edition, and it didn't do very well. I think that's what my memory is. He was complaining about Discovery on PlayStation because he couldn't find his game on the PlayStation Store or something. Um,
Yep.
I don't know. Do you think he's got something like new and exciting, or is maybe this is like a Witness remastered or something?
I think the way he's phrased it, I think there's probably something new. Whether that is actually exciting to anyone is a whole nother bag of, that's a whole nother question
Hmm.
because I don't know. I think it would I don't think there's ever been a point in my life where someone said, "Did you hear Jonathan Blow's got a new game coming out?" And I felt intense excitement for that. So, and I definitely don't feel that way now. So, I'm curious to see if anything if anything Thekla related shows up, but I don't know if I'm not exactly going to be hanging on the edge of my seat waiting for the Jonathan Blow game to show up.
Yeah, it's I really did like The Witness. I've tried to get into Braid a bunch of times, and I never clicked with it. So yeah,
I
it's
think I've
been
got a
hit and
physical copy of Braid around here somewhere.
yeah, that's that. Yeah, that was originally XBLA. Yeah, and then it kind of
Yeah.
exploded and went everywhere. Um, yeah, so he's hit and miss with me, and
Mhm.
who knows? Maybe the next one will hit, maybe it won't. I'll have to wait and see, but maybe we'll get a chance here. I guess it's just he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would want to announce his game at the Game Awards, and this video does give off the vibes that he is like kind of reluctantly and mad about having to do this. So he's like, just we paid a bunch of money, you better go watch this thing. That sort
Mm.
of sense there. I think it does. This one more than anything does speak to this idea that if you have a game and you need to make sure that people know about it, that you can't rely on PlayStation's discovery,
Mhm.
you're gonna have to pony up the money and go to the Game Awards, because that is the one thing that I think
Yeah.
a lot of PR companies and publicity companies will tell these developers when they get hired is it's worth the money to go to the Game Awards, and I think this speaks to that.
Yeah, I mean, I will be fair and say that if he shows anything that looks interesting, I will acknowledge it as such. Like I hope the game he shows, if he does show anything, is more than just the Witness remastered, but he's got the same shot as anybody else.
Yep. I think he doesn't have the same shot at not being weird, though. I think you're weird, Jonathan Blow. You should stop doing the things you do. All right. The Game Awards 2025 is tonight. Let's just go over like the specific details about when, just so people know, especially in
Yep.
regards to what we're doing. So 4:30 p.m. Pacific time tonight is when the pre-show starts. We are going to start at half an hour before that, so around 4 p.m. That's 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can tune in and watch us. We're going to do our talk over, hang out. We got our bingo cards. I got to hand those out to everybody, but we have our bingo cards for what's going to happen. There is like a repository on the Reddit, I think, of like a bunch of different cards or variations on the cards. So if you want to play along, go ahead and grab yours. It's going to be a good time.
I
Um,
will play. I will play.
Yes, we can check. Yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure you get the link to the
Okay,
bingo
please.
cards. It's a good time. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So, and I think Joy Z put that together for us. So, thank you so much, Joy Z. Yeah, okay. We got a few minutes here. I think it's a light news day because the Game Awards is happening, and everyone's like,
Oh yeah.
we're gonna wait for that. Um, so let's just do our final thing here. What do you think is going to happen at the Game Awards? Do you think Half-Life 3 is actually going to be real? What are your expectations?
I think if Half-Life 3 is real, they wouldn't need to bother with the game. I think that is the one game I can think of where
Yeah,
they could drop that news on a random Tuesday and everything would explode. They don't need the Game Awards
that's
for
that's
that.
definitely the best case against this, right? Because that is
Yeah.
the rumor right now. It will get announced at the Game Awards. And whenever someone says that point, I'm like, yeah, I don't get why they need this, other than I know they have a good relationship with Jeff Keighley. That's the thing.
They
So
do.
I'm like,
Yeah, that's
maybe he
true.
was able to bridge that gap, and he's like, you don't need this, but and came up with some solution and like made it sound cool and promised to handle all the production or something like that. But
I mean,
if
I
that
not to say I wouldn't be happy. I would be
right,
happy if they announced Half-Life 3 at the Game Awards. It just doesn't feel it doesn't feel likely that they, would offer that up at the Game Awards when on this is any night when they have to compete with a bunch of, yes, it would be the most remarkable news of the night, but it's still having to share space with a bunch of other game announcements. And I think Half-Life 3 is the one game that that whose announcement just kind of would stand on its own and would have equal impact no matter where they announced it.
Yeah, I think we get maybe some winners on stage, or people who think they know they're going to be winners kind of come out
Yeah.
and be like, and we have some more for our game, or maybe they are already ready to tease something new. But like DLC for something like Expedition 33, I could see that happening.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, is there anything that you've been like pining for that you're like, oh, finally the Game Awards could be the place where it shows up?
I really want to see. I'm really hoping we get a new. It's very particular to me. I want to see a trailer for the remake of Assassin's Creed Black Flag,
Oh yeah, that
and
feels yeah. They
I
basically
want
said
that.
that's
Well, I mean,
happening.
because I finally managed to. I speaking of RAM shortage, I'm grateful I got a new PC recently before things really started to pop off.
Uh huh.
So I finally have a PC where I can play the new Assassin's Creed. So I've kind of been getting back into Assassin's Creed again. So I'm like, I want more Assassin's Creed. Please give me more Assassin's Creed. Um, I think the other one, I wanna see more Resident Evil. Again, that's something very particular to
Yeah.
me, and I think they're gonna show off more, Requiem stuff because it's coming up pretty soon, so this feels like a good beat in the marketing cycle.
I agree. I mean, and they've been at the Game Awards before. I mean, they basically also said like something's happening with Resident Evil here, so I'm expecting that. And Requiem's out in weeks. I know it's
Yeah.
February, but yeah, we can count it in a handful of weeks. And so yeah, they're gonna want to like remind everybody about that right now. For me, it's Castlevania with the
Yes.
caveat and the recognition that I know Konami and Keeley are still mad at each other. Keeley's bitter that they treated Kojima so poorly, and he's like, "I'm not going to be friends with you." But I think money could talk, and I just really that's mostly me, like on a lot of copium of like, "Oh, I hope we hear about that." And what if it happened here? It's probably not going to happen here, but I would pop off if we saw Castlevania. That would be very exciting.
That would be fun, yeah.
Yes.
Maybe Fable? Do you think
Yeah.
Fable might
Right.
show up?
If Fable is still real and coming out, and it's like if it's not, they should have just canceled it alongside Perfect Dark. Um, then yeah, why not now? Other
Again,
than the fact that
copium, yeah.
other than the fact, right? Yes. Other than the fact that that game might not even be coming out next year, so who knows? I mean, it just feels like such vaporware.
Oh, and somebody mentioned the statue, and I've completely, like, blocked the statue from my mind because I feel like that's just such a weird marketing gimmick.
It is. It does sound like it's been solved. Do you want to know?
Yeah, sure,
Like,
tell me.
okay, it's so people found a trademark for Divinity from Larian
Oh,
Studios,
okay, yeah.
and then they laid that trademark over it, and it lines up kind of perfectly. Now, uh, they kind of came out and were like, "Hey, look, we promise you, there's nothing happening with Divinity Original Sin 3." In so many words, that's what they said. And it's
Yeah,
like, oh, but Original Sin was always a spinoff from a different Divinity series that wasn't as popular. Maybe they're
yeah.
going back to that.
I mean, that was
That's cool.
Larian's original baby, so
Yep. I
that would be exciting if that's what it was.
and then yeah, and then we did get excited for that statue maybe being related to Altered Beast. That doesn't seem like that's the case.
Oh,
But I would love.
I would smile if it
Yeah,
was.
it would be silly. But I do want to see more of those Sega like callback games. Those sort of hey, we're bringing back everything from your childhood. We're doing Jet Set Radio
Oh,
and
yeah, that's
Crazy
right,
Taxi.
I'd be happy to see those there, that'd be great.
Those originally, so that first sizzle reel that had the first five of those games, including Shinobi, uh,
Yeah.
was first at the Game Awards. So
Yeah,
it
it
feels like,
was, I
hey,
remember that.
let's get an update about that and maybe get some a real looks at some of these other games.
Yeah, I think, the other one that comes to mind, maybe Pragmata? I wouldn't mind seeing more of that,
Yeah,
it's I liked
I
what I
think
saw of it so far.
um, yeah. So like Half-Life 3 is just such an easy pie in the sky. Castlevania is like a personal, hopeful thing. Like I'm trying to think of like what is likely to happen. I guess that was the Expedition 33 stuff. I don't know. Beyond that, I wonder if like we will see anything from Nintendo. I do continue to think like they've done stuff in the past, but not much. Like I think like some Zelda games, some Zelda spinoffs have been here.
Yeah.
But I just think they're probably going to wait until they have their next direct next year. So not much from them.
No, oh, there was something else. I think Wolverine is gonna be there, probably.
Oh yeah, well that is right. There are also rumors that PlayStation's gonna have quite a few things at the show. So they'll talk
Yeah,
about Saros, which I think they've already confirmed they'll talk about Saros.
yeah,
But I
Saros they've
think
confirmed.
there will be some other thing there, apparently, according to some rumors. And that sounds about right. I've been asking around a little bit, but it's like things are pretty tight-lipped, and then now it's like when things start to shake loose because everyone's at the JW and everyone's like swapping stories. But now it's so close that it's like let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's
Uh,
just lock in and, 24 hours from now, we'll know for sure.
exactly. But next time we do this show, we will have all the answers. All right, let's start wrapping up. We have a poll question from yesterday. Sean, I'll give you a second to get that up for
I
everybody.
got it this time. We Gucci.
Oh, he's
I'll
got
be
it.
up
All
tomorrow.
right.
I'll be back with you tomorrow morning being like, "Jeff,
Yeah.
why am I up so early?"
Oh yeah, we should force you to do it back to back, so you just basically have to work
I'd
for
be fine with that
36
if you want
hours
to.
straight. Yeah.
Be like,
Uh,
"I'm
yeah. Go ahead.
awake. Leave me alone."
All right, so we have the results here. What kind of GPU do you have? Let's see. NVIDIA, AMD, Intel / I don't know, don't have a PC. Sean, I'm actually looking at the feed, so go ahead and click it. There we go. He did. 62% have NVIDIA. Not too surprising. It's always sort of the market leader. Yeah, same here. 17% have AMD. 2% actually have Intel. I bet people are including like their integrated chip on their laptop as well as those like B650s or whatever they are. And
Yeah.
then 19% say I don't know or don't have a PC. Yeah, we kind of did this kind of talk about AMD closing the gap a little bit with its rebranding of FSR4 yesterday.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, their tech is improving, but it's never surpassing NVIDIA, at least on the GPU side of things. Obviously on the CPU, like they're the leaders. NVIDIA doesn't have CPUs, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I continue to just kind of default to NVIDIA because of the tech, and I think that's where most people are at, even when you could save some money by going the AMD route.
Yeah, and I've bought the before I had the current one, the one I bought was already because I this was during the great GPU shortage and I got it pre-built. I got a pre-build, so and that one had an NVIDIA already packaged in with it. So I was like, you
Yep,
know what? I'm not going to change it. It looks good.
exactly. All right, we have a new poll question we'll get to in a second. Before we do that, though, Rachel Kaser, why don't you tell people where they can find you on the internet, what you have going on, all that good stuff?
You can find me everywhere under my name, Rachel Kaser. I'm also on Twitch, which I'm trying to get back into streaming again a little bit while we're on the holiday period. Well, I've got a little bit of free time. But I am at Grace of Athena. I'm in the Giant Bomb chat every now and then, so you can probably find me there. And by the way, Sean just put this up. This is a photo of Mike Minotti's mural that kind of stalked me when I was last in San Francisco. I just saw that staring at me from across the street, and I was like, Mike? What are you doing here? Anyway,
You sent this to me, and I was like, oh my
yeah,
god, he's everywhere.
I said it to Minotti first, and I was just like, "Why are you watching me?" And so, yeah, you can find me all social media sites, and I'm also on TikTok, where I've been on a bit of a hiatus for my health, but I am trying to get back into it, especially now that we're gonna do the Game Awards. I'm gonna do a big Game Awards post-event recap.
Oh, fun. All right, excellent. All right, we got that new poll question, and it's one we're going to save. We're not going to post it until later. Is there a way to schedule, Sean? I guess that's something you can ponder while I tell people what it is. Grade the Game Awards A, B, C, D, or lower. By the time we do this show, we'll be on the other side. So we'll post this tonight after the Game
Theory,
Awards.
remind me tomorrow at 7 a.m. Grade the Game Awards.
There you go, everybody. So we will get that up there on Giant Bomb's YouTube posts page. You can vote there. We'll get the results, talk about it here on Game S Mornings on Giant Bomb tomorrow. Speaking of Giant Bomb, yeah, it's the Game Awards tonight. We have some, I think we're going to do the voicemail dump truck and all that stuff, but we'll get back together, hang out, get all fancy, have a good time, and enjoy the Game Awards.
Have a
And
nice dinner.
yeah, nice. You're right. We should order out. Have
Mhm.
some Cheesecake Factory, the fanciest restaurant I could think of,
Yes,
delivered to the
absolutely.
house. It's gonna be a good time. Looking forward to it.
I mean, this is the only way to get through times like these is with cheesecake. If these ladies have taught us
right.
anything.
Yes, God, Golden Girls is so good. All right, Rachel Kaser, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and talking about video games. I really
Thank you for
appreciate it.
inviting me. It's always fun to be here.
Yep, thank you everybody for watching and listening. You are the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.
Bye.